Hey everyone, it's Lily4041, and I am back to do part 2 of my Taxidermy Collection tour. It's an updated one, because I have acquired a few more taxidermy pieces since that original video back in 2015. If you haven't seen that one, you can go ahead and watch it and see how my collection has grown. So I'm just going to start from right to left here. These are all my tails and heads and other assorted pieces that are hanging on my wall. So on the far right, we have a raccoon tail that I just got this past Christmas, and he was from hideandfur.com, and it's really, really soft and plush. And then next to that is an almost full skeleton and a few partial pieces of some rodents from some owl pellets that I dissected in one of my high school classes, so I decided to put that up here with everything. And then next to that we have another raccoon tail. This is one that I got as from a mall, actually. It was a keychain originally, but the keychain part kind of fell off of it, so now it just hangs on my wall. And then we have the full pelt of a pine marten, and I got that at one of our local fairs. It was at a taxidermy booth, and it's really, really soft. It's one of my plushest pelts that I have, actually. It's very, very soft. And then above that, I have a white deer tail, because I just love deer, and that's my favorite part of the deer, because they're so fluffy. And then the next three, this whole lot of three right here, are just different foxtails. I do believe that the one in the middle and the one on the left to that are silver foxes, and I'm not quite sure what this other one is. It's kind of a blend of something, but they're also very full and plush as well. And then over here we have what almost looks like a raccoon. It's kind of striped oddly, and this is a foxtail, red foxtail. And then we have a red fox face, and below that this is a coyote face, but it doesn't have the ears on it. The fox does have the ears. This is one ear, and that's the other ear. And then right there is a badger tail, which is a little bit coarser, not quite as soft. And then this is the coyote tail that goes with the face. And then this is one of my newest additions I got for my birthday. This is a full skunk pelt, which is pretty cool. And this guy was from Cabela's, skunk pelt. These were from someone on Etsy. This was also from that booth at my local fair, taxidermy booth. The badger tail is from Hide and Fur Company. This was a Christmas gift from someone. I'm not quite sure where they got it from, and I can't remember. This was a gift from someone, this one, and I cannot remember where these two came from. These were my first pieces, but I can't remember quite where they came from. And then above that, we have, those are in the middle, those are fake butterflies, but it still kind of goes with the theme, so it's there. On that is a small sliver of a skunk pelt resting on that picture frame. And then over here is an actual monarch butterfly that we found on our driveway, and I decided to mount it up, and he stayed pretty well preserved, actually, over time. So there's an up-close picture of him. Very, very pretty butterflies. And I have a streamer in the background, so that's the reflection that you see. So now we're going to go onto the floor, because everything else is on the floor. These are things that obviously I don't have hanging up. So down here, we're going to start down here. These are just kind of some accessory items. We have these two silver fox ears. Just little ear pieces cut off from the pelt. Very, very soft. They just chill out on my bureau. And then we have, this is actually the same species, so this is a little weasel. Turned white for the winter. And this one's really, really small, but this is the full pelt of one. His little feet are right there. So this is the full pelt of one, but it is a younger one. As you can see from tail comparison, it is a younger weasel than this one, but this is just a tail. And this one was from Hide and Fur This one was from an Etsy person. And this guy was from that taxidermy booth at that fair as well. And then this was also from Hide and Fur. This is a bobcat tail. And this is beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite tail pieces that I have because it's just so dang soft. It feels like velvet. It's very, very soft. And bobcats, I checked, are not... I don't like to collect taxidermy pieces from things that are endangered. Silver foxes and stuff are kind of a different story because these are probably from fur farm silver foxes, which I don't really support either, but it's not as bad as taking them from the wild. He was probably from the wild, but I don't think that this species is endangered. But I checked because the lynx are the cat species that are very, very critically endangered. Some species of lynx and bobcats are not, so they look similar, but bobcats are the better species. And then on top of this chest, we have this little white mouse that I actually taxidermied myself in my wildlife class that I got the rodent skeletons from the owl pellet. Yeah, so we did him ourselves. He's wearing a little scarf. And the eyes are actually from a cat toy. And I just glued them on to give him eyes. Because they did not have eyes, and I thought it was creepy that they had no eyes. And he looks better with some. And then over here is an actual fox skull that my father found in the woods, and he gave to me, so that is pretty darn cool. It is the mandible and maxilla actually are attached. And he has almost all of his teeth. He's missing some incisors here. But besides that, he actually does have almost all of his teeth. And look at how crazy. Doesn't want to focus on them. But look at how crazy these canines are. And I mean, this is just a fox, and this is probably an inch-long canine. And then the root of it actually goes all the way up there. So the whole tooth is about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches long. Which is crazy. And then we have his premolars, carnassial teeth, and then we go back into his molars. So that's pretty darn cool. And these parts on his skull, these are called sutures of the skull. They're actually joints, but they're removable. Every skull has them. This is where the eye socket would have been. And then, let me see if it's on this one. And this one actually has a socket. And this is the zygomatic arch, which makes the cheekbone right here. So it's a really, really cool piece that I'm glad I have. So now I have a full, like a fox face and a skull and a tail. So I have quite a few things. From, I don't know what species of fox this was, but they did find it in the woods, so probably a red fox. So that's pretty awesome. And then finally, he hasn't changed much, but he was the favorite for my last video. We have Caden. And Caden is a full-body coyote, and he is a soft mount. So his head is mounted, but his body is stuffed. So his head is heavy, his head will drop, will fall, you know, if I let it fall. But the rest of his body is just stuffed. Sorry, he had something on him. So he does have the fake eyes that are really nice. They're kind of like a greenish with a brown in the middle. And his nose and his whiskers. He does have whiskers on his pelt. And then the rest of him is just stuffed. So you can move his arms. These are his arms. He does actually have all of his claws. And then you can just move his arms. They're just bendy. And just the pelt is just stitched together. And his body is also bendable as well, so you can bend his body, pick it up. It's almost like a pillow, you know, like it's very light, except for that paw has claws. And then we just go down and to his tail, which is not stuffed, it's just his tail. And then his back feet, which also have the claws. So that is him. He's almost as tall as me. So he's almost from nose tip to tail tip. When you hold him upwards, when you hold him vertically, almost 5 feet. So he's pretty tall and very soft. Some places are softer than others. His fur is pretty coarse. On his back, could have been winter time when he was killed because he does have very coarse plush fur. And he was shot, and so he wasn't caught in a trap or anything. He didn't suffer. He was shot. There was gun holes in his pelt that were stitched up. And it is not... I don't feel bad about having him because it is not... there's no regulation for coyote hunting. They're considered nuisance animals, so you can just shoot one whenever you see one. So I don't, he's not endangered or anything, his species. So he is my only soft mount. He was my most expensive taxidermy purchase. And I get a lot of questions about this. So I had him commissioned by someone on DeviantArt. I'm trying to remember her name. Night's Gem was her name, I believe. I'm not sure. I think that she's still taking commissions here and there. And she did a fabulous job on him. And the commission price for him was only $260 about, which is really, really reasonable. Because I've seen other people that also do fabulous work price their coyotes and foxes and whatever, depending on the color and the size, at $600 and up. And sometimes even that $600 price, depending on the fox, if it's like a marble fox, that can just be the pelt, the cost of the pelt. So, but yeah, he's really awesome. He's held up well. I've had him for 2 years, almost to be like 2.5, and he's held up extraordinarily well. I've had to repair a few tears here and there, but nothing too extraordinary, and she will take him back and repair him at any time, so she did a fabulous job keeping me updated, and he turned out really well. So that is my entire collection and everything that's hanging on the wall. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's been really, really requested. If you want to leave any mean comments, they'll just be deleted, because I do not feel guilty about collecting these sorts of things. I mean, the act is already done, the animal is already dead, and I'm not doing any more damage beyond that. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my odd and ends variety of things, and there will be more model horse content coming up, so stay tuned for that. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you later, guys. Bye!